Grade 2 and grade 3. I'm really happy that you could join me for some math learning today. So grab your math book and a pen or pencil and let's get started.
Okay, so we're gonna work through these together, and I just videoed myself doing this whole video and then realized it didn't record. So I'm gonna try again, and hopefully my second take is as awesome as my first, but nobody was here to witness it, so you'll just have to take my word for it. Okay, so now I'm gonna go through and I'm going to expand these numbers. So we have practiced this in class, and I do know that we've done this a few times. So you're gonna look at your hundreds, your tens, and your ones. So you're gonna look at A, 974, and we're gonna write it down. 900 plus 70 plus 4. 974. Now for B, it's 413. I have 4 hundreds, 1 10, and 3 ones. So 400 plus 10 plus 3. All right, 2. They're asking for you to subtract here. So 6 take away 4 is 2. 1 take away 3. You can't do that because 1 is smaller than 3. So you need to ask your neighbor. So we're going to go into the hundreds. We're going to borrow 100. So now we have 11 tens, and 11 take away 3. Now if you know that 10 take away 3 is 7, that's just one more. So it's going to be 8. 7 subtract 4 is 3. So it's 382. Now, how many equal parts to the whole? So imagine that this is the whole. And how many equal parts? You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 equal parts. 4. Compare the numbers using these symbols. So we have the greater than, less than, equal. Now they're not equal, and we know that if they're not equal, then the crocodile is going to go for the bigger number. So your crocodile is facing 420. Okay, so now we're going to practice some subtraction. And to do that, I am going to use Grandma and Grandpa's way. You can use whatever strategy you prefer. I'm going to use Grandma and Grandpa's way for these because that is what we've been practicing the most in class. So let's get started. 2 subtract 1 is 1. So I start with my ones. Now I'm going to do my tens. 9 tens subtract 4 tens is 5 tens. Now I'm going to go on to my next one. 6 subtract 7. Well, I can't subtract 7 from 6 because 6 is smaller than 7. So I need to borrow from my neighbor. So now I have 5 tens. And I can move a 10 over. So I have 16 subtract 7. Well, if you know your rules for subtracting, you know that 16 subtract 6 would be 10. So 16 subtract 7 is going to be 9. And then 5 subtract 3 is 2. So 2 tens and 9 ones. I have 29. All right, let's move on to the next one. 4 subtract 3 is 1. 5 subtract 4 is 1. I have 1 10 and 1 1, which makes 11. For this one, 3 subtract 6. Now you know what I'm going to tell you. We can't do that one because 3 is smaller than 6. Don't do that thing that some kids do where they go, oh, 6 subtract 3. No, 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 no. Go from the top number, subtract the bottom number because the top number is bigger. 83 is bigger than 36. But we do need to do some regrouping. So 3 subtract 6, I can't do it, so I need to borrow from a neighbor. So now I have 13. I have an extra 10 there. 13 subtract 6. 13 subtract 6. Well, I know that 12 subtract 6 is 6. So 13 subtract 6 is 7. 7 subtract 3. Okay, think of my doubles facts. Double 3 is 6. 1 more is 7. So 1 more than 3 is 4. Okay, let's move on to the next one. 51 take away 27. Now, can't do it. I'm going to start with my ones, and I can't do 1 take away 7 because 1 is much smaller than 7. So I'm going to borrow from a neighbor. So I cross out 1 10. Now I have 4 tens left, but the 10 is just moving right here to make this 1 into 11. 11 subtract 7. 11 subtract 7. Okay, so I know 10 subtract 7 is 3. 11's one more. So it's 4. And then 4 subtract 2 is 2. All right, on to the next. 7 subtract 8. Can't do it. So I need to borrow from a neighbor. Okay, and now I have 6 10s because I've moved 1 10 over here. Now 17 subtract 8 is going to be 9. And 6 subtract nothing is 6. Okay, my next one here. I have 96 subtract 17. So 6 subtract 7. Can I do it? No, I can't. So I need to borrow from my neighbor. So I'm going to make that 8 10s. Now 16 subtract 7. 16 subtract 7. Think about it. 16 subtract 6 would be 10. So 16 subtract 7 is going to be 9. 8 subtract 1 is 7. Now, you've been practicing these steps, and I hope that you tried this on your own before you watched the video. I want you to go, if you're at a point now where you're thinking, I want to try this on my own, I want you to. There's no more borrowing questions left. So it's a good time to go and practice the steps. Now remember, you start with your ones, subtract your ones column, borrow if you have to, then move on to your tens, subtract your tens column. Now let's go over here. 44 subtract 0. Well, still 44. I didn't take any away. It's kind of like, just trying to think. I was going to use the example of the word problem we're about to do. It's like you have 44 crayons and then you put them away in the box. And you still have 44 crayons because you didn't take any away. All right, 66 subtract 52. So 6 subtract 2 is 4, and 6 subtract 5 is 110. So 14. 68 subtract 36. I start with my ones. 8 subtract 6 is 2, and 6 subtract 3 is 3, 32. All right, this one, you should know just looking at it, both of these numbers are the same and they're asking you to subtract. It's going to be a big, fat 0. 0, because I took all of them away. It's like I had 99 crayons and I gave them all to my friend. Okay, so speaking of crayons, we're going to move on to our problem solving. So we're going to start with Billy. So Billy has a box of 36 crayons. He broke 10 of them. How many crayons does Billy have left? Now, I hope that somebody explains to Billy that you can still use broken crayons, but I think they're asking how many whole crayons does Billy have left. So Billy has a box of crayons. There were 36. He broke 10. So we're going to be subtracting because we're taking away those 10 crayons. So 36 subtract 10. Okay, and you guys should know that there's nothing to subtract here. So we're going to just have 10 less than 36 is 26. Just like in class when we skip count by tens, we can start anywhere. So let's say 26, 36, 46, 56, 66, 76, 86, 96, 106, just like that. Okay, but if I was going backwards, it's 36, 26, 16, 6. Leah has 64 crayons. That's a lot of crayons, Leah. She gives away 13 because who needs 64 crayons? How many crayons does Leah have left? So we go 64. Again, this is still subtracting because she gave them away to somebody. Maybe someone didn't have crayons and thought, Leah has 64, I'll borrow from her. 4 subtract 3 is 1. 6 subtract 1 is 5. 51. Okay, for this next part, I would like you to try this one on your own before you watch the video. So you're skip counting by twos. I'm going to do the first one and then see if you can keep going. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Now I want you to pause the video. You can highlight the numbers by skip counting by twos. Pause the video and practice skip counting, and then come back to the video and we're going to do it together. Okay, so pause the video and practice skip counting by twos, and then press play when you're done and we'll skip count together. Okay, hopefully you did that. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30. 32, 34, 36, 38, 40. 42, 44, 46, 48, 50. 52, 54, 56, 58, 60. 62, 64, 66, 68, 70. 72, 74, 76, 78, 80. 82, 84, 86, 88, 90. 92, 94, 96, 98, 100. Now, what would come next? If I'm skip counting by twos. If I'm at 100, what would be after? So maybe 102, 104. The pattern just continues. 106, I'm not supposed to say and. 108. The pattern just continues, if you can see my fluorescent writing. All right, I am going to switch back to my pink pen, and I am going to draw arrays with you. So remember, when you're reading these, I know some people still panic when they see that multiplication symbol, but don't panic, guys, because it just means the X means groups of. And you guys have been doing groups of since you were in kindergarten, so you've got this. Okay, so we're gonna go through and we're gonna do 3 groups of 2. 1, 2, 3. And I have 6. So 3 groups of 2 is 6. 3 times 2 is 6. All right, the next one, 4 groups of 5. So I have 4 groups of 5. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 1 group of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 2 groups of 5s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3 groups of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 4 groups of 5. Okay, so I've got groups of 5. Now, when I'm doing 5s, it's very easy to skip count by 5. So I'm just going to go 5, 10, 15, 20. So 4 groups of 5 is 20. Now, 5 groups of 6. Now remember, I didn't review this, but let's just quickly review this. When we make arrays, we want our arrays to be in straight lines because then it's easier to group them and see how they work. That's the whole point of an array. So make sure your arrays are in straight lines and that you can easily tell where your groups are. Otherwise, it's not an array, it's just a pretty collection of dots. Okay, 5 times 6. So I have 5 groups of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 1 group of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2 group of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 3 groups of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 4 groups of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 5 groups of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 groups of 6. Oh, missed my top here. Okay, so again, because this is a 5 in it, we can count by groups of 5. Here's a group of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are all groups of 5s. So let's count. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So 5 groups of 6 is 30. 5 times 6 is 30. And 3. I hope you enjoyed working through that math with me. I will see you again for more math tomorrow. I really hope that these videos are helping you feel more confident that you're on the right track with your home learning. If you have any questions, send me a Dojo message. I'm right in front of my computer. And I'm ready to answer any of your questions that you might have. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you tomorrow.